here behind me is Highway 380, the beginning of. This is Highway 69, turning into Highway 380 over that bridge there. Highway 380 is one of America's most interesting highways. It stretches from here in Greenville, Texas, all the way to San Antonio, New Mexico. 673 miles. It goes through Indian Territory. It goes through nuclear testing sites, alien abduction sites, not alien abductions, but alien zones. Goes to prisoner of war camps from World War II, ghost towns, anything, you name it. Highway 380 crosses it. And we are going to take it from here in Greenville all the way to the end in San Antonio, New Mexico. But first, let's get to exploring Greenville. A little bit of exploration of Greenville. Okay, here we are entering 380. So I'm just down the road here a little bit, hardly into 380 at all. But I wanted to show something I saw. Sorry, I'm right next to the road. That's 380 here. That's the first 380 sign. That's the first one on the road. At least the first one I've seen. All right, here I am in downtown Greenville. Look at this. Look at this street. I love old-timey Western kind of streets. But what I wanted to show was this little park over here called The Spot. So let's go check it out really quick. The Spot recognizes how Hunt County, which is where Greenville is, was torn over the idea of succession during the Civil War. Some wanted it, some didn't. Some wanted to join the Union, some didn't. So The Spot, which is where we are now, remembers that. It's interesting. Very interesting. Civil War history here in Greenville. So I've grown up in Texas, and Greenville in particular, you really get the sense that you're walking in like an old Western town. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's all the buildings and the signs and but this more than others. This more than others. Maybe it's the sun going down behind me. Okay, so here's the deal. I've just spent the last 30 minutes driving around here, Princeton, Texas. As you can see, Princeton. Looking for a World War II POW camp. It's supposed to be a water tower and a park. The story goes that during World War II, the Germans that were caught were transported here and forced to build a park in commemoration of World War II veterans. The problem is, I can't find this effing park to save my effing life. Honestly, I cannot find it. I drove down the entire back street over there. I'm at a loss on this one. But Princeton, Texas here, and I'm back on 380 as we are speaking, going towards McKinney. Here in McKinney, Texas, right off 380. McKinney is named after Colin McKinney, who was a signer of the Texas Declaration of Independence. I just want to show the bank really quick here in downtown McKinney. Founded in 1869, as you can tell there. Just that like eagle and everything, the American flag. Oh, that's a picture of some kind. I don't know. Oh, that's close to my face. Who knows? But here we are, downtown McKinney, right off 380. It is getting late in the day. The sun is going down, so I'm gonna head home because I don't live too terribly far from here, and we're gonna continue down the road to New Mexico tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's the morning here. I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday to show a consistency in the video. But here we are, back on Highway 380 here. So here in McKinney, gonna hop back on our highway here and head west to San Antonio, New Mexico. Hopefully we'll see what we see and do what we do. Well, we'll always see what we see and do what we do, but hopefully we'll see some cool stuff and do some cool stuff. And then we'll see what we see and do what we do while we're doing the cool stuff and seeing them and doing the cool things. Okay, so I'm just about to be passing over Lake Louisville here. I believe so. Yeah, off to my side over there is Lake Louisville. I'm not seeing a place to look to stop here. I want to get out and look around, but I'm not seeing a place. But this is essentially like, you know, through these trees and stuff is Lake Louisville. Lake Louisville was flooded in the 50s, and like, you know, like it's a man-made lake. It's flooded in the 50s, and then they actually excavated. I believe that, you know, the water was so high one year that it kind of dug up some bones or artifacts or something, and they were able to kind of excavate them. And they found out that it is the remnants of one of the oldest settlements in Mexico and the southern United States. Here, Lake Louisville, off 380. Yeah, man, there's no place to pull off. I'm so frustrated. First Princeton, now this. How many times am I going to get burned? How many cool things are we going to see anyway? Maybe we'll see things we weren't expecting. That's the joy of it. That's the joy of the road. But there's a little history on Lake Louisville, which we saw very, very, very briefly. Maybe we'll see it again. But there you go. Next stop should be Denton. Okay. Here I am in Denton, Texas. Denton, what I know it for, is the horrible, horrible traffic off our 380 highway right here. Okay? What a lot of people will know it for is Texas Women's University, which is these two giant buildings on the Denton skyline. The biggest buildings, I think, in the city. You can see them for miles when you're entering. So, Texas Women's University right there. Texas Women's University was founded in 1901 after women petitioned for a state university. Look, there's even a sign, Texas Women's University right there. Founded in 1901 after women petitioned for a state university. And it was built to teach women vocational skills. I think might be one of the first women's universities in Texas. So, there you go. That is Texas Women's. I'm going to now try and go into downtown Denton and see what we can see there. This is very reminiscent of a town square I went to in Louisiana. For some reason, to me. Because I parked like right there and I walked into the town square from the, you know, right side, and it just reminds me of it. But I wanted to show, look at this movie theater sign. This is a gnarly movie theater sign. I really, really love movie theater signs because each one is different and unique in its own way, but it shares a similar style. So, old movie theater sign there, the campus. Place is cool. Huh. Here, let's go check it out. Let's go check out the front. I wonder how old this is. 50s or something? Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, September 15th through October 1st. Occupied the Denton Record Chronicle. Huh. This is cool. Yeah, so this operated in 1949 until, what did it say? 1985. Dang, that's cool. I bet these lights look amazing when they're lit up. Alright, let's head further into the square. Yeah, look at these. Look at this architecture here. Look at these pillars holding each thing up. I heard that a lot of town halls in Texas were in like a Romanesque revival type architecture, and these pillars would really, that really cements that. You know, I wonder if this is open. It's not 9 yet, and I believe this is a government building. So it's gonna be up in the air whether it's open or not. Let's go check it out though. Okay, Denton County. Whoa, look at this. Oh yeah. Look at this place. I love these staircases. Huh. Some history of the town here on the walls. Whoa, look at this door. Museum, that's definitely closed. Yeah. Unfortunately. So what is this, town hall? Ooh, whoa. There's like screeching coming from Denton County Sheriff's Office. This building's actually pretty cool. Yeah, man. Look, oh, look at this. Center here. Look at that. That's cool the way it goes all the way up like that. Here, let's go check out upstairs. I like that this place is just open. Like, I don't know when they unlock the doors, who comes and unlocks the doors. Oh, hello. Courtroom. This downtown is really cool. I really like this building. That was cool. That was cool to see. I always like going in town halls like that. They're always interesting to me. All right, well that's Denton. So let's get on down the road to Decatur. Decatur was originally called Taylorsville, and it was established in 1856. But in the 1870s, somewhere around there, it was named after the naval hero Stephen Decatur. Okay, now this building behind me is Romanesque style. It is the courthouse, built in 1896. I wanted to go into it, but they are doing a bunch of construction on it. Look, you can see the old clock up there. It's kind of reminiscent of downtown Denton. I told you, everything looks the same. But, like, they're doing, reconstruction on it. They've been doing reconstruction on this place since I've been coming to Decatur for the past, like, 10 years. So, there you go. Okay, so here we are at the administrative building in Decatur. Decatur, by the way, is the seat of Wise County. But here we are at the administrative building. Okay, the thing with the administrative building is it burned down in March. It was built in 1893, listed on the place of the Registrar of Historic Places in 1971, and it burned down in March of 2023, so earlier this year. Oh yeah, did it burn down. Holy crap, dude. That is really unfortunate. That sucks, man. It sucks when a building essentially stands the test of time only to get, like, completely burned down. That sucks, man. Here I am in Runaway Bay. It's kind of a little speck of a town. It's not much here. Old hotel sign. But what's cool about Runaway Bay is it was found on a golf course. It's like around a golf course. The whole town is based around a golf course. So, and it also sits here on the water. So if you'll look, there's little slips there, over there, for boats. That's what those top of the buildings are. Is yeah, it's, here's the thing, is like you don't get many like sea towns this deep into Texas, right? I mean, you do, you know, there's towns and stuff based around lakes, but this is particularly cool because it sits on our highway. Our highway goes right over it there, right? And you can start seeing like kind of mesas and cliffs and stuff start forming here as we get closer out west. And you can see the lake, you know, like you're sitting on this lake here. And it's a very, very small town. I mean, this is most of it here, I think. But yeah, and the golf course I think is right over there. They actually found a chupacabra in 2010 on the golf course. But Texas Parks and Wildlife said it was a hairless raccoon. So, who knows? So this plaque is telling me here that this was actually a really big spot for training Army airmen during World War II, because it was kind of out of the way, like tucked out of the way here around Lake Bridgeport. So, which is what this lake is, Lake Bridgeport, which is around Runaway Bay. So, yeah, there you go. Just stopped over here at the side at this little gas station, checking out this. Welcome to the city of Runaway Bay, established 1979. There you go. I like this town. I like it a lot, actually. I think it's cool. Nice and laid back, relaxed. It's a golfing community. It's a, you know, boating community. It's cool. It sits right on. That's our highway there as those cars are passing by. I mean, I got no negatives here. No negatives. Nice and chill. Runaway Bay to Jacksboro. Here I am, Fort Richardson, just outside of Jacksboro. Can we enter? Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Myself.
Good, thank you.
So yeah, down this way there would have been a line of buildings making up the officers' quarters. There was 5 of those 2 stories.
Okay.
Remember these picket structures, and then that picket structure there was about 8 of those. Those are the enlisted men's barracks.
Okay.
That ran all the way down that way, and those 2 are the only replicas. These 2 here.
And how many men were enlisted here?
At its height, over 660.
Woo.
Which at that time made it the largest garrison in the U.S.
Okay.
So it was a pretty important fort there for a few years. Involved in the Indian Wars, the Red River Wars.
And you said this, what we're coming up here is the hospital?
Yep, this is the hospital.
Okay.
Now you go ahead and look around. I'm going to turn this alarm off.
Okay. Hospital here. Ooh, it's a musty hospital.
We can go in here though.
Okay.
It's supposed to have a sign right here. We were using it yesterday. The dining room and the kitchen.
Okay.
That's a representation of a meal, a Sunday meal.
Okay.
You don't see too many vegetables. They attempted to grow a garden here for a couple years, never worked out. So a lot of meat and beans. Any of the vegetables they did get were usually in cans.
Okay.
Put those in soups, try to disperse them a little bit better. And this is the only room with some of the original flooring left.
Oh, okay. Everything else has been like replaced?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell this stuff here is pretty darn old.
Yeah.
And tables and benches are original 1870s, and so is the food.
And this is like the
Kitchen.
preparation kitchen?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this was just for the people in the hospital.
Yeah, okay.
the barracks, the other soldiers would have their own mess halls and kitchens.
Yeah.
And that's the original wood burning stove there, shipped from Buffalo, New York. Took over a year to ship here. It's a nice little piece.
Okay, now I am heading towards the morgue. Ranger Chris is going to be joining me in just a second to unlock the door for me. Huh. That's... Sometimes patients didn't make it out of the hospital. No, you're all good.
You got any questions about anything?
Questions
about
on
making stuff up.
Okay.
One day, 3 Kiowa chiefs decided they would lead a very large raid into Texas with 180 Braves, which is a really quite large war party. And they set up 20 miles west of here on a prairie that was trafficked between here and Fort Belknap. And their medicine man told them there'll be 2 wagon trains that come across the prairie today. Let the first one pass, and the second one will be successful and bountiful. So they did. They let the first one pass, attacked the second, killing 7 teamsters, stealing about 40 mules and a handful of horses, went back up to the reservations in Oklahoma. Well, that very same day, General Sherman, who at the time was the commanding general of the entire U.S. Army, was on his way to Fort Richardson to actually assess how bad the problem was with the Kiowa. He didn't believe the reporting that the problem was that bad. He thought it was hyperbolic and that there wasn't really a real problem here compared to the rest of the country. Okay. Which he was very wrong about, obviously. Yeah. Well, he was the first wagon train to go across the prairie that day with only 17 soldiers, not knowing they were being watched by 180 Braves. Yeah. He got to Fort Richardson that night, wrote in his diary arrogantly, "No sign of Indian, area seems safe," end of quote. And later that night, the only survivor of the massacre made it in. Woke him up. He realized he had just escaped with his life, so he went up to Fort Sills, where the reservation is, and arrested the 3 chiefs who were vocal about their attack. Satank, the oldest of the chiefs, went down with the fight. They shot him. The other 2 were brought back here to be held in his jail cells while they awaited trial in Jacksboro. And they were the first Native Americans ever tried in Texas civil courts. The big turning point in U.S. policy of how the U.S. government dealt with the hostile natives who lived on reservations. Sort of went the legal route. Yeah. And of course, they were tried by a jury of their peers, right? Sentenced to death. That was quickly reduced to life imprisonment to avoid war with the Kiowa. Okay. And then about a year and a half later, they were released to again avoid war with the Kiowa. And then that war started about a week later. Satanta, the middle-aged of the chiefs, was rearrested for participating in fighting. Spent the rest of his life in prison. Big Tree was the youngest of the chiefs. He actually lived a full life into his 90s, being an advocate for peace and assimilation on the reservations. And I think it's pretty telling between the 3 generations of chiefs how they sort of dealt with that. Yeah. The oldest one's Tank going down with the fight. Satanta sort of struggled with the adjustment of white people coming out here. He was pretty well known for being very friendly with the whites, so much so that he had gained criticism from his Kiowa tribesmen that led him to lead the raid. So you could sort of see that struggle there. Big Tree was pretty young. He adjusted and assimilated quite well, lived the full life. Yeah. This is the morgue. Okay. And they would leave him, you know, upstairs or in here just for a few days, long enough to figure out if the family wanted the body returned back to them. Okay. If not, they were buried here at the cemetery. Okay. Where's the cemetery at? It was on the northeast side of the fort. Yeah. It's now private property. There's a house on there. Got it. When they left, they exhumed the graves and took them to the National Cemetery in San Antonio. Okay. So you'd die, you'd come in here, they'd keep you. Yep. And then see if your family wanted you back, put you in the coffin, take you to the cemetery. Correct. It's a lot of steps. A few. Yeah. So they didn't have this mortar stuff that we have in between the pickets. They actually used manure mixed with straw. Okay. That way during the summertime they could take it down and let the breeze get through. But in the wintertime, you know, manure is really not the best substitute for that kind of thing. So there was often, as you can see here, a lot of holes in the wall. That's what it would have looked like more so. So a lot of room for cold air to get in. I'm gonna open this door here. We'll get a little breeze come through. Oh yeah, I could see how you could think this was overcrowded. Yeah, so these buildings were designed for 50 men. They typically held 75 to 100. And these bunk beds were the ones that were here in the barracks.
Okay.
These beds over here were in the officers' quarters.
Okay.
They wouldn't be in these buildings. But they would sleep 2 to a bed.
Okay.
And they'd sleep head to foot. So you'd have someone's wool socks in your face. They probably haven't washed in a couple weeks.
And typically, how long would you be stationed here if you were stationed here?
You know, it varied quite a bit.
Yeah.
A few of the regiments were here for 6 or 7 years. Some were here for 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Sleeping head to toe with someone for 6 to 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder why there's so many drinking problems back then.
Yeah, and so many desertions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually say the longer you go through the tour, the more you start to sympathize with
them. Yeah.
Who deserted. Yeah. It's like, oh man, don't blame them. It's pretty brutal out here. This area of Texas kind of gets the extreme heat and the extreme cold.
Yeah. Yeah. What's this? This a chimney here?
Yes. Yeah, there would have been 2 wood-burning stoves in each of these.
Okay.
That's the one on that side. The one right down there.
Dude. Ranger Chris. Awesome. That was awesome. Fort Richardson was more than I could have hoped for. So informative. Like everything. That was great. Super knowledgeable guy, Ranger Chris. Killing it. Super nice. Funny. Killed it. Thank you, man. Thank you for showing me around. That was awesome. Okay. Now I am in Graham, Texas. Okay. Graham was settled in 1871. It is the seat of Young County, Graham is. And actually, so what Ranger Chris was talking about there being an attack on William Tecumseh Sherman, and, you know, he was riding to Fort Richardson, and, you know, he barely missed being attacked with 17 soldiers and blah, 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 blah. All that happened 12 miles to the north of here, Graham. So he was on his way to Fort Richardson there. So that also happened in 1871, the same year that the town was founded. Now, an interesting thing about Graham, and the reason I wanted to stop here, was because I heard and I read that the town square is physically the biggest in the entire country. Not like has the most buildings or has the most whatever, but is physically the largest. So if you look over there, that's the one end. And then over here is the other end. There's a lot of traffic through this town. And actually, I was a little skeptical when I got here, but it's definitely bigger than any of the ones we've been to before. So it's definitely a larger area. In the country, I'm a little skeptical of that because there's a lot of country, you know. Here. Oh, look at this post office over here. I love a good post office. Sorry, Kevin. I love a good post office. Wah! Just got hit by a fucking grasshopper, dude. Ran straight into my hand. Seriously, the hand that's holding the camera and hit it. Look at this post office. I love this. Look at this. Look at this. Look. This is not the post office. The post office is across the street. But this caught my eye. Look, there's even little buffalo in the stones here. Wow. Let's check this place out. Whoa. What is those? Brands? I think these are ranch names. Huh. So that's the courthouse that I was just in. It's mostly modern in there. The buffalo head was a cool touch. I mean, like the actual buffalo head. The buffalo head on the stone was cool, and the actual buffalo head was pretty cool too. But now we're gonna walk over to this post office. Museum and Art Center. Huh. Built in 1935 to 1936 at the cost of $60,000. First long-term post office in Graham, Texas. Whoa, look at this. It says open, but it's locked. Hello. I'm gonna take some time to read this. So basically what those things were saying was that husband and wife moved to Graham and founded it. It's named after them, right? And the husband drilled one of the first oil wells in the state of Texas, 2 other men. And he moved to the land because it was rich and fertile and would be good for farming and the thrill of starting a new territory and such. And then, yeah, that's the long and the short of it. He was the first postmaster. So that was a building for him. You know, probably on my way out of Graham now. Gonna hop back on 380 and continue my journey westward. So I'm here in Newcastle, Texas, founded in 1908. It was a coal mining town named after Newcastle in England. But, that being said, right, look at these old gas pumps. It has nothing to do with what I just said. I'm just saying, look at these old gas pumps. You gotta flip it up and everything. Here in Newcastle, gonna keep moving on down the road. 380 seems to make another sharp turn here, going that way. So, gonna go down the road there. I think the next town we're probably gonna hit and get out is Haskell. Okay, I'm about to be pulling in here to Throckmorton. I'm not stopping in Throckmorton, but I do want to show how like kind of barren it's getting out and how like we're kind of going into more desert area here. It's definitely things are, it's not as lush as Greenville, let's say, or as Princeton or McKinney. We're definitely moving along here on 380. Okay, I'm out here in Haskell, Texas. I just pulled up here. This is going to be our 380 here that we're passing through. And that is why we're here. That is the Haskell County Courthouse. It was completed in 1892 and is apparently one of the oldest courthouses in this area, still in use. So you can tell by the old architecture that it's pretty old, you know. Oh wow, this is a much more open and I like this town. Look at that sign. I like this like, it's very like Wild Westy. Let's go check out this courthouse. Look at this building. It's so much more like grandiose than the other ones, despite the fact that I'm really like kind of in the middle of nowhere. I like that. Let's go check her out on the inside. Let's see what she's about. It's too modern on the inside. Oh, I think the inside's been, it smells nice in here. Yeah, I think the inside's been redone. Interesting. And all the way through, I just went out on the other side. It's a Veterans Memorial here. Off to our right. This is Haskell, man. I mean, I really just want to show like the low-key Western attitude in the courthouse. Like I said, it's one of the oldest in the area, 1892. Kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so I imagine it took a longer time for society to reach here. It's like Ranger Chris was saying, who I really liked meeting him today. That was cool. He gave me a lot of cool insights. It's like Ranger Chris was saying, like, it took a while for society to come out here, you know? I mean, the Fort Richardson was established in 1867, so you gotta imagine how long it took them to reach here with towns and just, you know, civilization. So 1892, that's pretty old, you know, for considering like the area we're in, how like kind of far out and everything we are. It's really fascinating. It's just so open here, you know, like so much more open than, you know, as we kind of move west, it's like everything becomes very like broad, you know, it's not as clustered together. There's more space to kind of spread out amongst the area. I like that. All right, so we came from that direction and we're gonna be going that direction. So let's regroup with the car, get back on the road. All right, here I am in Aspermont, in front of the Stonewall County Courthouse here. Aspermont is the seat of Stonewall County. Aspermont is named after two mountains. They think Aspermont is named after two mountains that exist just outside of town. The mountain's actually Quanah Parker, who is a famous Comanche chief. They think he used to live up in the mountains for a while, these two mountains, and it might actually be a sacred place to the Comanches. So we're gonna see if we can't get a view of that over there. But first I want to look at the courthouse here. This is downtown Aspermont. Sprawling metropolis this is. Some people call it the next New York City. To see if we couldn't get a view. I wanted to see if we couldn't see what this court or this center area was. We've got these little like cobblestone benches here. This tree. Works Progress Administration, 1935 to 1937. Wow, these are old. Works Progress Administration, 1935 to 1937. Yeah, man. Wow, this town, there's not a lot going on. It's just like one of those places out west where it's like, what's out here, you know? What is there to do? What would you do if you lived here? Like, for fun, you know? I mean, can't really go to like, I'm sure there's bars and places to go, but you gotta drive like a real distance to get anywhere, like, you know, there's not like nightlife, you know what I mean? Yeah, way out there, man, there's those mountains. So basically the story goes that Aspermont was named after those flat top mountains, or those mountains way out there, these two peaks, right? I don't know if you can see them over there on the horizon, but the town of Aspermont was named after those. So basically, like, you know, Aspermont means rough mountain. So basically, the town was named after those peaks way out there, and then the Comanches used to stay up there, like Quanah Parker, who was a Comanche chief, and they think that the mountains were like a sacred place for the Comanches, which you can totally get, because out here there's nothing, and then there's just flat, 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 then mountain. That's so cool. God, that's so cool. I wish I could get closer, but A, it's so far out of the way, and B, I don't know what road will take me there. So, man, I wish I could get a better view. But they're off to that side. We kind of passed, like, the hills kind of made us pass, like, right in front of them. We didn't get to see them because of the hills. But they're sacred Comanche mountains, which is super cool, man. Especially, like, way out here. Like, you gotta imagine up until, like, a certain point, right? I mean, what? So Haskell was the oldest county courthouse in the area. It was built in 1892. So there wasn't even a courthouse here until 1892. Up until 1892, there was nothing, dude. There was nothing. I mean, like, sure, people... Wait, hold on. Oh, you can't see. There they are! Got them, dude. Right there across the way. You see them? Sacred Comanche Mountains. At least we got that. At least we saw that. Okay, here I am in Post, Texas. Welcome to Post, founded by C.W. Post. C.W. Post was a cereal manufacturer, and he bought the town in 1907 and tried to turn it into like a utopian city. The problem is with that is utopian cities never really work out that way, do they? I mean, it's a nice little town, but it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, you know, which maybe helped his cause. I'm not one to judge, but we're gonna go check out this big government building, this big looking government building over here. Post is also the seat of Garza County, so that's why it's going to be the Garza County Courthouse here. But that is our guy, C.W. Post. Pioneer, industrialist, inventor, founder of Post, Texas. Garza County was created, and then in 1907 it was officially organized by C.W. Post for a utopian farming community. And that's going to be our Garza County Courthouse right there. Huh. I like the layout of it. You can look straight down this way. Got this and this. I don't really want to go into the courthouse. I've been in a lot of courthouses today. But I did want to show it because it's the seat of Garza County and it's got our guy there, C.W. Post, overlooking his town that he's created. Welcome to New Mexico! That sign is dude. Tatum, New Mexico. I'm grabbing some gas. It's a little more expensive here than it is in Texas. It was like $3.20 in Texas. It's about $3.60, almost $3.70 here. It's okay. I expected it to be a little more expensive. It gets a little more expensive the farther west you go. But right here is our 380 that we're following here in Tatum. You can see small buildings here. Pretty cool. This is a nice little town, actually. I didn't know this was out here.
Tatum, New Mexico.
Tatum, New Mexico.
Jerry from Tatum, New Mexico.
Jerry, you from here, man?
No.
No?
I was born here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where you live at now?
Hobbs, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, how about you?
Cool. Dallas.
Cool, cool.
Cool. Hey, thank you, Jerry. I like that guy. All right, here I am just pulling into Roswell now. You know, still kind of on the outskirts of town here, but I am in Roswell officially. So I'm gonna pull through, kind of go towards the center of town, look around, dip out. That's the plan. Again, I don't want to hang out super long. Everyone knows what happened here. Everyone knows the story. I'm going to be touching on it very briefly, I think. But mostly just want to see Roswell. So here I am in Roswell, New Mexico. Roswell was started in 1869. The UFO incident is what they're most known for, right? I mean, we can be honest. When anyone hears the name Roswell, they think about the UFO incident. So basically in 1947, they found something out in the desert. The people thought it was a UFO. The government claimed it was a weather balloon, a high altitude weather balloon. Who knows, right? But Roswell has definitely profited off of that. The UFO tourism. I mean, it's, rampant here. UFO festival right across there. I mean, literally the first building I see when I come out of the alley, it's about UFO stuff. You can see it over there. I mean, yeah, so they're getting their money's worth out of it. What is this here in Roswell, huh? Doesn't look alien related. Looks bull related. 1821 to 1884. Cattle King of the Pecos. Dude, that is an epic statue. Epic. So yeah, this is Roswell. This is literally the courthouse here. This is downtown, the square. It's a town, dude. I will say, last time I was in Roswell, I didn't get to see this cool courthouse. So I'm gonna go check out the courthouse, and we're gonna get back on the road. Because I do want to make it to Lincoln, which is about 50 miles from here. I want to make it to Lincoln before the sun sets. We're just going to show the front. Yeah, man, that looks cool, huh? Awesome. Courthouses. Love them. I do love them. The sheer, nothingness out here is absolutely stunning. I mean, look at those clouds. And just, this wide open valley coming out of Roswell. Absolutely beautiful. You can tell the different cloud layers up here. I mean, just stunning. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what this area is. I'm a little confused by the layout. I know when we hit Lincoln, the Capitan Mountains are going to be kind of to our north. I don't know what these are. These are the Capitan Mountains aren't too far from here. This could be them. Jesus Christ, look at this. I mean, these could be them here, but I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the area. The map is a little confusing the way it's laid out with everything. I don't know what starts where and what ends where. I mean, I even tried to research this before I went on the trip and I couldn't really. Maybe I'm just too stupid to figure it out, but either way, whatever's out here is really beautiful. This is a really beautiful place. So, I mean, it's kind of like an isolated mountain range in the middle of New Mexico. It's insanely beautiful. You're just kind of in it all of a sudden, I mean, we were in a field a minute ago and now we're just in rolling mountains. So this is supposed to be one of the best preserved Old West towns. Lincoln, New Mexico here. I'm not really getting the energy that it is a ghost town though. Oh, well, I guess these are some sort of markers to show. Hold on, there's a sign here. Let's see what the sign says. But look, that's the old lady's walking her dog over there. Built in the 1850s, its thick walls protected Spanish Americans against the Apaches, and Lincoln Co-War Murphy sharpshooters were stationed in 1937. Chavez County Historical Society undertook restoration of the tower. Yeah, so I guess each one of these places is, you know, but it's this nice little, got a nice little church. It's basically just this road, though. Alright, let's see what this is. 3-room adobe seat of law and justice when Lincoln County was established in 1869. Routine issuing of warrants and records, trials for criminals, large and small, all issued from it. Now called Priest House, belongs with neighboring church. Ah, interesting. And this is the church here. Yeah, it's just a nice little old west town out here in the middle of the woods. I read somewhere that it's the most visited monument in New Mexico. Sometimes you read things and you don't know if you can believe them. What's going on? I'm kind of 1887 for this church. Wow, dude. Here, I'll show driving through this town, because all the buildings are closed. You can kind of see, like, you know, it's just that. Look how verdant this country is. I mean, like, look how beautiful that is. Absolutely stunning. Wow. It's these type of things that we take for granted. You know, like, this is out here the whole time. All the time this is out here. Alright. I am pulling through Capitan, New Mexico right now. I'm not going to get out for this one, but I have a very short story to tell. So in 1950, a burnt black bear walked out of the woods around here from the south, I think, which would be that way, where we are looking towards. And this black bear became a model for the conservation of the wilderness. Many people know him as Smokey the Bear. So Capitan, New Mexico is where Smokey the Bear came from. And forest conservation. It's a big forest conservation place. Smokey Bear National Park is not too far from here. This is the location that was born at. So when the bear died, they buried it in Smokey Bear National Park, and ever since it's been a symbol for preventing wildfires. So Capitan, New Mexico, birth of Smokey the Bear. Okay. Oh. As the sun's setting over the horizon, and we're getting close to New Mexico and the end of 380, we reach the White Sands Missile Range, which is this whole thing extending for a very long time. This way was where the first nuclear bomb was tested in 1945 at the Trinity test site. Now, everything we've seen up to this point, all the beauty, all the towns, all the structures, all the building, everything, these nuclear bombs could destroy all of that. It is so important that we are responsible and we are smart with the technology that we have created. I mean, looking out on the desert here, it's a beautiful place. And those bombs could take it all away. We have to be smart. We have to Okay, here I am at the end of the road in San Antonio. You can see the sign there. I have to have my lights on because it is so dark. But that's the sign for San Antonio. The actual city is right behind me there. But if you look, hold on. This is the end of our road. This is the end of 380 here. We made it. San Antonio is actually the birthplace of Conrad Hilton, of Hilton Hotels. But it's too late to check out right now. But we did it. We made it to the end. We did it. We made it down 380 from Greenville all the way here to San Antonio, New Mexico. We're here. All the way here. Oh man, we did it. Yeah, because it becomes the 25 now. This is the end of 380. Here, I'll film me going down it. Exiting. Here, let's turn this light off so we can kind of see. Here, Las Cruces and everything. We're going north. Oh man, look. This is it here. Here. That on. Yeah. Exiting 380. That's it. That's the end of the highway. All 673 miles. We did it. Thank you guys for coming along with me on the 380 trip. That was so much fun. It was awesome. I had a blast. We saw some really cool stuff. Talked to some really cool people. It was awesome. So, and we did it. We completed it. Went all the way through San Antonio, New Mexico. Even though we didn't get to see the town because it was so dark, we still it's done. It's completed. We drove all the miles.